Wam, Kahalayam La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahakwadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you since I came out there just pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith with charity. Alright, it's coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shemi Shai. I'm just gonna speak on this movie. I just wanna speak a few words on this movie right here that I just almost finished. I got a little bit left to go, about the last 30 minutes, but man, this movie right here, this is a deep movie. Okay, I urge all brothers to check it out. Okay, as of right now, you can watch it on different things, but if you got Apple TV, you can watch it on Apple TV. But it came out October 20th, but I'm just now getting around to it. But this movie right here clearly shows that so-called Native Americans are one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. It clearly shows you that. It clearly shows you that they're Israelites. Okay, and we already know they're the Israelites through or of the tribe of Gad. Okay, and the reason I say that, which we already know, but if anybody out there, because you got a lot of people out there that deny that, you got a lot of black only Israelites out there. Okay, but after you watch this movie, which is all historical, okay, it's based upon a true story, true events. Okay, the main character, the main two characters, which is Edomites, playing Edomites, which they got Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, which through the spirit, those both are Jakes, but they playing Edomites in the movie, and they were some real devils, man, especially Robert De Niro character. Okay, but basically, if you read up on the history, it was you had one tribe of so-called Native Americans, which were the Osage, right? And the Osage basically warring with Esau for so long and different things. They settled on this certain land, I believe was in Oklahoma. I could be wrong, but they had this certain land that they owned, and come to find out the land had oil. Okay, so through them owning the land, they became rich. These Gadites, they became like mega rich, like millionaires. So the tribe became a very wealthy tribe. And what happened was, of course, Esau being the devil, they slither. You watch the movie, they slither right up in there, and just took everything. They slowly just transferred the wealth from Gad into Esau, and they did this by, of course, killing certain people off, strategically killing different people off, pretending to be friends, pretending to love these people, right? As the scriptures say, his words were smoother than oil, but war was in his heart. And another way they did it was by marrying these women. They was killing off a lot of the men, and they were marrying, pretending to love the women. They were marrying these women because the women had rights, which they call head rights. They had rights to the land because they were part of the tribe, right? So they were marrying these women just to get legally have access to the rights of the oil in the land. Okay, and this devil right here, you see Robert De Niro character, he basically schooled his nephew into doing the same thing, right? And when you watch the movie, man, these Gadites, they fulfill every curse in Deuteronomy 28, every single one. Okay, of course, besides, they didn't show them going to slavery in ships, but outside of that, they fulfill every single curse, man. And we know certain curses hit certain tribes harder than others, but we're gonna go down the list and you watch the movie, they fulfilled everyone. Okay, it also shows you that the so-called white man is the devil. And in fact, this character right here, he was it showed you in the movie he was a 32-degree Mason, Freemason. It was a scene. It was in the Mason Lodge, right, with the checkerboard floor and everything. He was saying how he's a 32-degree Mason, and he had connections throughout the city. He was controlling every damn thing up under the nose of Gad, right? And they was also talking about how they're sickly people. They're sickly people. What happened was in the movie, a lot of the Gadites was catching diabetes. They was getting sick with diabetes. A lot of them was dropping dead. And they was basically showing like, oh, they can't, because Esau came with his food, eating a lot of carbs, eating a lot of sugars. That Gad wasn't, over that in their DNA. They not created to eat like that. Gad was eating a lot of that bison meat, eating a lot of meats. They wasn't really big into them carbs, into them sugars. So when they started eating like Esau, like, they was catching diabetes, dying. Okay, which that's part of the curses. The Lord said He was going to send the pestilence of Egypt on our people. Okay, a lot of the men was bugging the hell out, committing suicide, because they felt helpless. They were becoming alcoholics. Esau was giving them that moonshine, right? What else? But they show you how these devils was just smiling in Gad's face, and they was just robbing them blind. Oh, another big thing was they showed how in the movie, which you can look up the history, the United States government basically took over the money that belonged to these Gadites, and basically they set up like these institutions where Gad had to go to Esau to ask for their own damn money. It was basically saying they were incompetent, man. Like, oh, they didn't know what to do with their money. So Esau had to hold it for them. And they had to ask Esau. They would say, oh, this amount of money I need to buy my groceries, to buy this or that. And Esau would have to approve it for them to get their own damn money that belonged to them. That was theirs. Sometimes Esau would deny him or say, no, I can't let you do that. With their own money. So that's the curses, man. Showing you, even though our people, you can get rich, you can get wealthy, and you still under the curses. Okay? You can have money, you can get the riches of this world, but that don't mean shit. You still cursed. And another thing too, they was making they were alluding and making ties to what was going on with those Gadites. Briefly, they spoke about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we know the story of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, and many other cities like it. You had so-called black cities, so-called Negro cities, where you had Jakes that was in the oil business or in different businesses. It was getting money. And what happened? Esau came in there, bombed them, right? Started made war against them, killed a lot of them, straight up. And in the movie, when Esau was fucking with Gad, you had one scene, they were like, this is just like Tulsa. So they were showing you that Gad and Judah was going through the same things. Not only going through the same things, but being oppressed by the same man. You see? So when you see how that happened, it makes you think about Herod. How he married a Judite woman. It makes you think about how Esau over different civilizations could creep in to Jake power system, or creep into other empires and kingdoms, and slither his way to the top. Because he's the devil. He's a serpent. Salakia. Okay, but it's a good movie. It showed a whole lot, and I can't even speak on everything in the movie. The movie was like 3.5 hours, so you just gotta watch it. You gotta sit through it. It took me a couple nights to watch it. I'm still not done. But Let's just read this, Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, right? Which we didn't. As a people, we didn't hearken unto the Lord our God. We rebelled, right? So what happened? To observe, to do all his commandments as statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field. And they showed that. They were cursed in the city. They had their own city, their own town, their own land, supposedly that was theirs, right? Because you got Jake's talking about, we need to build our own communities. We need to do this. Well, these things have been done before. Okay? And they were still cursed. Verse 17, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Right. They had the money. They had big bank accounts. Right? That's like Jake's right now. You got money in the bank. You can have $1 million in the bank, but you go to the bank and ask for your money. They say, oh, no, well, what you doing with it? Which, in a way, they doing that right now. You could have $100,000 in your bank account, and you go to the bank and say, I want $10,000 cash. They're going to ask you what you need it for. You know? But that's what was going on in the movie. And it wasn't even that. It was asked for $300, this and that. Small amounts. And they would call them incompetent. And they had lines of every day you'll see lines of gaddies going to the bank to try to get their money. And they would have to show what they were spending it on. And this is their money. But the United States government set it up like that. And what the hell they doing with the money? Doing whatever the hell they want to do with gas money. Right? Verse 18, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. And when you watch the movie, it was spiritual. They were showing that there's something spiritual going on. Because you had the elders, all the elders of the people, they were all mad. You had one, the mom, like she was a mother, and she had like 4 daughters, and she was cursing the daughters out, like, you all marry white men, basically like y'all all disgrace. She was like, they show how she was reminiscing and seeing over the years how her people just became whitewashed. Like they showed her reminiscing, and the people look dark skinned, and then she looking around and everybody's all light bright, almost white. You know? And the crazy part about it, Gad was the one with the money. They was balling, living life, living good. And then you have these Edomites coming in their town talking shit about them, calling them savages, but they trying to live and mooch off them. You know, Edomites had a lot of nerve, man. And the crazy, this is all historical facts. It's all based on a true story. And that's a part of that shameful spewing coming out on Esau. Right? But of course, we can't read all these curses, but all these curses apply to them, man. Verse 21, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave upon thee. And they showed that in the movie. They were sick, and the dude was like, the Edomite, Robert De Niro character, he was even saying it like, yeah, these Osage, they're very sickly people. But he also said what? He said they're the most beautiful. He basically said they're the most beautiful, the greatest people on the planet. He said that. When he said it, you could tell he meant it. He said these are the greatest people on the planet. But at the same time, he was killing them. He was killing them, stealing from them, lying to them, deceiving them, trying to, and he was like a preacher. He was like a pastor. Meanwhile, he's in a Freemason organization, 32-degree Mason, killing motherfuckers, offing them, stealing, just being a complete devil. But everybody, all the women, you know, and they showed you they was killing off the men so they could mooch off the women. And the women was simple as hell. They didn't know what was going on. Only women that knew what was going on was the older, the widows. They had the wisdom, but the younger women was just getting seduced by Esau. You had a bunch of Edomite men just moving in, and that show you the women, man. They don't got it, man. Esau can seduce them, and that's why the serpent with the Eve. So it was all biblical in the movie. Okay. Well, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. They showed that. They show how they was just depressed. They was bugging out. They had mental problems. You know, because Esau basically destroyed their whole way of life. They didn't have no reason to live. They didn't have no drive for life. Even though they had all the money, they was lost. They didn't know what to do. And then they had show one different scene where they had they called all the elders and they was trying to have a meeting, right, to figure out what to do, to try to send some people to basically they had I forgot what they called it, but it was like a Gadite council with all the tribes, right? And they sent a messenger to go speak with the head of the basically like a United Nations for all the different Gadite tribes. And the leader, he didn't even want to hear him. It ain't sure he was basically sold out. So they ain't have no real strong leadership. It was just through, man. And then towards the end of the movie, they showed basically Esau just took everything, man. So, you know, that proves that they're the Israelites. It proves it. It also proves that the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You can watch that movie, you see it clearly. And the fact they put out movies like this show you that we are at the end. Because all things, these things is coming out. Everything is coming out. Okay? So that's pretty much it. I don't want to make it too long. Just wanted to say a few words on it. And, encourage brothers to go watch the movie. This is a pretty good movie, pretty spiritual. So with that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashmiel, Shabbat, Shemar, Gadash. Until the next one, Shalom.